Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to share with you is not philosophy, it is physics. Not theory, but tested truth. Not suggestion, but supreme law. I speak of the most powerful force accessible to humankind, the principle of embodied faith. You beg the universe for proof before you move, but the universe only responds to motion. Faith is not a feeling, it is a posture, a walk, a way of breathing. To receive the miracle, you must first become the miracle. Act as if everything works out, and watch reality rush to agree with your demonstration. The masses wait for conditions to change before they act. The masters act as if conditions have already changed, and through this alchemy, they command reality itself. There is no middle ground. You either direct life or life directs you. The choice must be made each morning before your feet touch the floor. Your doubt disguises itself as prudence. Your hesitation masquerades as wisdom. I tell you plainly, both are cowardice dressed in respectable clothing. The universe honors only those who honor themselves first through decisive action, not cautious contemplation. This principle cannot be negotiated with. It cannot be partially applied. Either you live entirely as if your success is guaranteed, or you admit through your actions that you prefer the comfort of excuses to the exhilaration of achievement. There is no neutral position. The physics of emotional gravity. Your emotions are magnets. Fear attracts failure. Faith attracts fortune. But faith is not wishful thinking. It is muscular certainty expressed through action. You don't wait for the bridge to appear. You step onto the invisible path and trust it will solidify beneath your feet. This is not recklessness. It is the supreme intelligence of aligned action. The universe responds not to what you say you believe, but to what your actions prove you believe. Your feet reveal your faith far more accurately than your lips. Where you stand, where you walk, where you run. These are your true prayers, and they are always answered. Gravity pulls objects toward Earth without debate or discussion. Similarly, your dominant emotional state pulls circumstances into your life with exact precision. It is neither good nor bad, it is law. Like gravity, it requires no permission and makes no apologies. It simply executes. You cannot think your way to wealth, health, or harmony. You must act your way there, with every gesture conveying absolute certainty in the outcome. The body leads the mind, not the reverse. Put your body where your aspirations are, and your mind will follow. Fear is simply faith pointed in the wrong direction. Both project futures with equal force. Both create self-fulfilling prophecies. The only question before you is, which prophet will you become? The prophet of lack or the prophet of abundance? Your body will cast the deciding votes. The anatomy of as if. To act as if is not deception. It is rehearsal for reality. The actor does not pretend. He embodies until the role becomes him. You are the lead role in your destiny. Stop reading the lines, start living. The stage is set, the audience is waiting. Perform now with total conviction. The person you must become to achieve your aims already exists within you. That future self is not waiting for circumstances to change. It is waiting for permission to emerge. Give that permission through your actions, not through endless deliberation. Your cells replace themselves completely every 7 years. Your identity can transform far more rapidly. You become what you consistently act like becoming. The gap between simulation and stimulation vanishes when commitment reaches critical mass. Psychological research confirms the body cannot distinguish between deeply imagined experience and physical reality. Act as if you have already succeeded, and your nervous system records success as accomplished fact, releasing precisely the biochemistry needed to attract more success. Your current identity is nothing but accumulated habit. habit of action, and you change the foundation of identity. The new you emerges through practice, not proclamation. Successful people do not feel successful first, they act successful first. The feeling follows the behavior, the mirror of response. The universe is an echo chamber. It does not give you what you want, it gives you what you are. Radiate doubt, and doubt returns. Radiate certainty, and certainty materializes. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner stance. Adjust your posture, and the mirror adjusts accordingly. Complaining about circumstances while doing nothing to embody their opposite is the definition of insanity. Life responds to demonstration, not lamentation. Show it what you want by becoming what you want. The reflection cannot change until the object before the mirror changes. I have interviewed hundreds of the world's most successful individuals. None waited for perfect conditions. All acted as if success was inevitable, especially when evidence suggested otherwise. This was not delusion, but deliberate practice of immutable law. The world treats you according to how you treat yourself, not how you feel about yourself, but how you act toward yourself. Act with the dignity of one destined for greatness, and watch how quickly the world adjusts its behavior to match your self-evident worth. When you act as if everything works out, you access resources invisible to the doubtful eye. Connections appear, opportunities emerge, solutions present themselves. Not by magic, but by mechanics, you have altered your perceptual filters to recognize what was always there, the decision of delusion. The world will call you a fool for believing in the unseen. Let them. Every great invention was once a delusion. Every empire was once a fantasy. The difference between madness and mastery is results. Act as if, until the as if becomes the is. This transformation is not metaphysical, it is methodical. The majority lives in one reality. The achiever creates an alternative reality and inhabits it so completely that the existing reality has no choice but to conform. This is not positive thinking, it is positive acting, with such consistency that doubt finds no purchase in your psychology. Consider this. For thousands of years, humans believed flight impossible. The Wright brothers acted as if it were possible, and through that embodied belief, they solved problems invisible to disbelievers. Your challenge is no different. Act as if your solution exists, and your mind will discover it. Society rewards conformity of thought, but reserves its greatest prizes for conformity of action. Specifically, action that conforms not to common practice, but to uncommon principles. Act as if these principles work, and they must work. This is not mysticism, but mechanical law. When you act as if your goal is certain, you bypass the energy-draining debate within yourself. This conservation of mental energy alone accounts for much achievement. The undecided mind exhausts itself with internal argument. The decided mind applies its full voltage to execution, the price of embodied faith. This principle demands payment in advance. You must act before evidence appears. You must invest before returns materialize. You must behave like the person you intend to become before external validation confirms your identity. This sequence cannot be reversed. The currency of this transaction is courage. Not the courage that feels no fear, but the courage that acts despite fear. Fear never vanishes. It is simply overwhelmed by the superior force of decisive action. Act as if fear is irrelevant, and it becomes irrelevant through this very decision. Temporary discomfort is the toll bridge to permanent achievement. Your willingness to be temporarily misunderstood, criticized, or even ridiculed measures your fitness for sustained success. Act as if such opinions matter nothing compared to your own inner conviction. The masses seek comfort, the achiever seeks alignment. Alignment between vision and behavior, regardless of comfort. This alignment generates its own satisfaction far superior to comfort. Act as if alignment matters more than approval, and watch your decisions clarify instantly. You will be tempted to wait for permission, validation, or guarantee. I tell you with absolute certainty, these will never arrive in advance. They arrive only after you have acted as if you need none of them. This paradox frustrates the timid, but empowers the bold. The embodiment of possibility. That goal you dream of? It is not out there. It is in here, waiting to be worn like a skin. Put it on. Walk in it. Breathe in it. The costume becomes the character. The act becomes the reality. You are not faking, you are forging. The universe recognizes only one language, motion. Speak it fluently. Your body is the physical expression of your beliefs. How you stand, how you move, how you breathe. These are not responses to your confidence, they are creators of your confidence. Assume the physical posture of absolute certainty, and the emotional experience will follow. The gap between where you are and where you wish to be exists only in thought. In action, there is no gap, only the continuous process of becoming. Act as if this process is complete, and completion accelerates toward you with mathematical precision. You've been taught to believe that feeling precedes action. This sequence cripples achievement. Reverse it. Act first with complete commitment, and the appropriate feeling states will follow with perfect reliability. This is not theory, it is neurological fact. The most dangerous phrase in human language is, I'll act when I feel ready. Readiness is a myth invented by fear to maintain inertia. Act as if readiness is irrelevant, and watch how quickly capability rises to meet challenge. The body achieves what the mind believes, but only after the body acts. The mathematics of manifestation. Act as if success is a mathematical certainty and probability shifts in your favor. This is not mysticism, but statistics. The person who takes consistent, aligned action automatically encounters more opportunities than the person paralyzed by deliberation. Think of probability as water flowing through pipes. Act as if your pipes lead directly to your desired outcome, and you create a path of least resistance. Energy follows focus. Action demonstrates focus with undeniable clarity. The universe responds not to intention, but to direction. Consider compound interest. Small actions, consistently performed from a state of certainty, accumulate returns at an exponential rate. Act as if each action contains this exponential power, and you will execute with a precision that guarantees compounding. The law of large numbers states that with sufficient trials, results will reflect true probability. Act as if each attempt brings you closer to inevitable success, and you will persist long enough to activate this mathematical principle. Failure is never final unless you stop acting. Your mind calculates risk based on incomplete data. It cannot see all variables. Act as if the unseen variables favor your success, and you access creative solutions invisible to the calculating mind. This is not blind faith, but expanded awareness through committed action. The authority of aligned action. You have been waiting for authority to proceed, some external validation that your path is correct. I give you this authority now, not as a gift, but as recognition of what you already possess. Act as if your own decision is the only authority required, and watch obstacles dissolve. Authorized action carries an unmistakable signature. It moves without apology, without explanation, without hesitation. It does not ask permission to exist. Act as if your movements bear this signature, and you will find fewer forces opposing your progress. The universe does not distinguish between authorized and unauthorized action. It responds to all action equally. But human systems do make this distinction. Act as if your actions come from absolute internal authority, and watch how differently others respond to your presence. it is not granted, it is claimed through behavior. The moment you act as if your path is divinely ordained, a shift occurs in how your actions are received. This is not manipulation, but manifestation of your highest capability through congruent expression. There is a quality to authorized movement that cannot be counterfeited, a directness, a clarity, a certainty that bypasses conscious resistance. Act as if you embody this quality and you will find pathways opening before you previously hidden by your own hesitation. The economics of embodied certainty. All markets respond to certainty. Whether selling products, services, or ideas, your certainty creates value far beyond the intrinsic worth of your offering. Act as if what you provide is essential, irreplaceable, and perfectly timed, and watch the market adjust its valuation accordingly. The economy of personal achievement operates by identical principles. Invest your actions as if returns are guaranteed, and you automatically make different decisions than the person hedging against failure. These different decisions produce different results with mathematical precision. Consider opportunity cost, the invisible price of inaction. When you delay acting until conditions seem perfect, you pay this cost without receiving an invoice. Act as if perfect conditions exist now, and you eliminate this devastating expense from your balance sheet of potential. Capital follows conviction. In financial markets, in business, in personal relationships, resources flow toward demonstrated certainty. Act as if your success is worth investing in, and you become a magnet for the exact resources needed for achievement. This is economic law, not wish. The most valuable currency is not money, but decisive action. This currency can be created at will, without inflation, without approval, without limit. Act as if you possess unlimited supplies of this currency, and you will never experience the poverty that plagues the hesitant. The psychology of provisional living. Most humans live provisionally, as if real life will begin once certain conditions are met. This psychological stance guarantees perpetual deferment of vitality. Act as if this moment contains all possibility, all opportunity, all fulfillment, and watch how your energy transforms. Provisional living creates provisional results. Your subconscious mind detects the tentativeness in your actions and adjusts its support accordingly. Act as if each action is final, complete, and fully committed, and your subconscious aligns its immense resources behind your movement. The psychology of as if bypasses the conscious censor that limits your capabilities. By acting as if limitation does not exist, you access capacities normally restricted by perceived boundaries. This is not self-deception, but self-liberation through strategic behavior. Your nervous system cannot distinguish between rehearsal and performance. When both are executed with identical commitment, act as if each moment is the decisive performance of your life, and your capabilities expand to meet this heightened demand without conscious effort. The psychological state of certainty creates physiological changes that enhance performance, increase circulation, optimized hormonal balance, improved neural efficiency. All occur automatically when you act as if success is guaranteed. Your body becomes your strongest ally, the spiritual dimension of embodied faith. I speak not of religion, but of causation. Whatever force organizes atoms into matter, cells into organisms, and thoughts into actions responds not to petition, but to alignment. Act as if you are in perfect alignment with this organizing intelligence, and resistance dissolves naturally. The spiritual law states, as within, so without. Your external circumstances reflect your internal state with perfect accuracy, but this reflection responds not to contemplation, but to demonstration. Act as if your internal state is already what you wish it to be, and the reflection must change. Faith without works is dead. This ancient wisdom captures the essence of embodied belief. Your actions are the living proof of your faith. Act as if your faith is unshakable, and it becomes unshakable through this very decision. The action creates the reality it seeks to express. The highest spiritual attainment is not separation from worldly concerns, but perfect expression of principle through practical action. Act as if every movement is sacred, every decision divine, every effort eternal in its consequences. This stance transforms ordinary action into extraordinary achievement. Consider the possibility that you are not the author of your success, but its channel. This perspective eliminates both pride and fear. Act as if you are the perfect instrument for achievement, neither claiming credit nor accepting limitation, and watch how effortlessly results manifest. The culmination of committed action, everything you desire. Everything exists in potentiality, waiting only for sufficient action to make it manifest. The action required is not random, but aligned with principle, with purpose, with passion. Act as if this alignment is complete and completion becomes inevitable. The universe's greatest secret is this: it cannot distinguish between what is and what is so completely embodied that it might as well be act, as if the gap between current reality and desired reality exists only in perception, not in fact, and watch how quickly perception becomes fact. I have studied thousands of lives transformed by this principle. Without exception, the transformation began not with changed circumstances, but with changed behavior. Behavior aligned with desired outcomes rather than current conditions. This alignment is the master key to achievement. Your commitment creates its own evidence. When you act with absolute certainty, you generate data that would not exist had you acted tentatively. Act as if each action produces irrefutable evidence of your eventual success, and this evidence accumulates with unstoppable momentum. The final truth is simplicity itself. You become what you act like becoming, not what you think about becoming, not what you feel like becoming, not what you talk about becoming, what you act like becoming. This principle, fully embodied, makes achievement not merely possible, but inevitable. Act as if everything always works out, and through this supreme demonstration of faith, you make it so.